Just to finish off then,
Mhm.
on this bit, obviously the industry's not been in its best place. A lot of people have been affected by it. So, I mean, have you got any words of wisdom, a bit of positivity, any advice for someone who might be looking for a job at the minute?
I think depending on where you are in the world, I think America saw, I would say, like the brunt of all the layoffs because of the big, AAAs and publishers, and it made it sound like it was horrible everywhere. And I think it is quite dire for some companies. Yeah, I would try to say that a lot of it is politicized as well because, when people lay off, share prices go up and so forth. So it can be more than what initially meets the eye. Redundancies is always awful because it feels like such a personal attack. And it's okay to kind of mourn something that you've loved. And I think my advice is to be okay with feeling a bit shit about it for a bit, but know that you're in control now and that you know what you are capable of, what it is that you want, and what it is that you don't have to stand for anymore. Because the great thing about being released from a job is having the freedom to not put up with certain things that they were just niggles at the time, but I think on reflection you think, oh, thank God I don't have to do that anymore. So my advice is to find any silver lining that you can initially, if it's a redundancy situation that you find yourself in. Take a minute, and then dust yourself off and put your own RFP together. What do you want? What do you need? And what's a nice to have? And then appropriate where you kind of apply for jobs. Don't just kind of throw your CV out there and hope something sticks because that is the worst plan of attack. If you use an agency, use one. Don't use two. Yeah, use AdVac. If you are new to the industry, network. I cannot stress that enough.
Absolutely.
Your presence everywhere will not be missed. People will see you. People will see you trying. Try to adapt your portfolio as well for where you're applying. So if your portfolio as a grad, for instance, is quite vague and wide-reaching, you're not really honing in on one specific area. So try to show more examples of one thing if you're applying for a specific role. I'm really lucky that I've covered all aspects of game development, recruitment. So there's not really one piece of advice, is there, Dave, I suppose, for a cohort of newbies.
I think it comes down to exactly what you were just saying there. Don't try and be everything for everyone.
No, you try just can't.
Work out what you are and what you want to be and mix it up. And I've got to say, Viki, at the beginning you were talking about how process driven you are, and then you've just given everyone a process to follow to find a job. I love that.
I know. Imagine what my husband has to put up with. Yeah, but I think there's nothing wrong with having a plan. Like in my job title, my middle name is strategy, so that gives you an idea. Have a plan, but don't worry if it's a loose one. So, think of a plan of attack, not really what happens after that. You've got to have a driver behind you. You've got to have some sort of focus. So pick whatever that is for you. So whether that be the type of company it is that you want to go work for, figure that bit out first and then hone your application.
Yeah.
If it's a genre, then hone in on that and then hone your application. If you're a programmer, give examples of your coding.
Yeah.
Like it saves time at test stage because they already know your language and what languages you're used to working in. If you're a design student or you've got a year or so under your belt, but you've got no credits to a title because you've had to leave before release or something like that, ask to do a test. Offer your time, and art, exactly that. Art station, anywhere where you can spread your portfolio out is great. Get a mentor as well. And this goes for inexperienced and experienced people.
Absolutely.
You're never too wise or old to have somebody to help guide you. I have one. I'm pretty sure Joe's got one. My HR manager's got one. Everybody I think should have somebody that they can lean on for advice.
Yeah.
And I offer that support as well to my soundboarding session people. Every quarter, we get together and they run things by me and I offer advice about what I know about and etc. I'm not, the oracle, but they teach me things as well. And it's about that kind of
It's the collab, isn't it?
complementary thing, isn't it?
It's the big collaboration. Everyone's benefiting from it then.
But just get out there, I think. Meet as many people as you can. There's loads of free events. There's loads of +1 tickets. So make friends. You'll get +1 invitations. There's loads of universities that ask for volunteers to help other grads. And that's how you get to meet other, studios that come and visit. There's loads of things that you can do. But yeah, it is tough, and I'm not going to pretend there isn't. There's so many very experienced people already on the market that you're competing against. So if you are new, or if you're a vet, I think if you're a vet, you're more likely to know exactly what it is that you do and don't want.
Yeah.
But if you're new, you've kind of got that kind of virginal, I don't know, sort of view on life, haven't you? You're not kind of
not tainted by any doubts or anything like that.
So you have that kind of positive glow about you, and if you're unsure, ask someone.
Yeah, definitely.
Because there's lots of us out there that's willing to give advice, I'm sure.
This industry is incredible for it. You see it time and time again. But also another thing, like, me and you were a little bit longer in the tooth, aren't we, Viki? We've been through stuff like this before, and it always turns around. It will never be this bad forever.
Well, you think the industry is 3 decades old at best, really, from a commercial point of view? We're barely scratching the surface, really, as an industry. And every 10 years, there's this cyclic shift. And we're in that third cyclic shift of, the industry transforming. They grow, they overbloat, they lay off a bit. They grow, they overbloat, they lay off a bit. And that can be influenced by all sorts of things, consumer trends, what people are playing, what people can afford.
Yeah.
COVID, that was a massive thing.
Massive.
And I just think there's just so many factors there that we can't control. You kind of need to keep one eye on the ball at all times.
Yeah.
You never know when it might come. But we're facing a situation where we're about to see our first retirees from the industry.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Where does that knowledge set go?
Yeah.
So once they leave and depart us and, spend all their nice retirement money, who's next? Like, we haven't got enough learned experience between us yet to know how to navigate the next kind of, cataclysmic event, because we haven't seen it all yet. You can take advice from other industries and whatever, because, they've been running longer, but the answer is nobody knows.
Still learning, still going through it.
We're all still learning.
And this is exactly why I wanted to speak to you, actually, Viki, because, like I said at the beginning, there's so much negativity, but seeing it from your perspective with your people background and your higher level experiences, the insights you've given, like, there's a lot to digest and a lot to think about, but there's so much positive advice what you've just offered. And
I hope so. And I've been there myself. I've been made redundant. I've had bad bosses. I've had jobs I've not liked. I've had jobs that I really, really wanted and didn't get. Yeah. I'm saying this from a position of experience. I'm not in an ivory tower somewhere just spouting out, what people think a leader should be saying.
Yeah.
And
that's
had to climb the ladder, and it's tough.
Yeah.
And I've had to knock a few men out of the way as well,
Good.
But it's hard and you have to graft. But if it's what you really want, it won't feel that way. It will just feel like you've earned it.